am here hot off the presses with the one, the only, Nick Pagan.
Hello. Hi.
AKA Pagan. He said that you could pronounce it either way.
It's your choice.
Right?
The choice is yours. Yeah.
It's your choice. Can you explain that a little bit too? Because you were telling me a little bit like the meaning behind the name Pagan, which is a name that you gave yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my pagan name. I feel like a lot of people have their Christian name that was given to them, and I have my pagan name that was bestowed upon me because there's been a whole lot of disenfranchisement with the whole idea of people that are pagan, people that are indigenous, this and that. And I was like, you know what? No, man. Like,
no, man.
Take that. Let's take this back. Let's take this power back. And also, like, my whole life, you know, I'm Latino. My whole life, people have been mispronouncing my name. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna make it a name that, like, doesn't matter how you pronounce it. Yeah, you're right. It's good. And then it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek remark, you know, kind of a punk statement.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm a pagan.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
Yo, that performance was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was so fun. I didn't expect all of those just like instrumental grooves and vocal sounds without words. And I was really happily surprised by that, as was the audience. Yeah. What does that give you, like, on stage to just get into the groove without any words?
Oh. Well, there's a reason why I wear sunglasses. Like, what's going on with my eyes is kind of weird probably all the time. You're like, we're just like staring at my eyes. I'm probably like my eyeballs in the back of my head kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, it's kind of nice to get entranced if you're able to, you know, like sometimes it's not like an easy thing to do. It's not like a thing that's like on command, but it's a goal.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's kind of the vibe.
How do you name a song that doesn't have words?
You know what? I don't know. I called the song Banquo because of Macbeth and the idea of backstabbing. I don't know. It just like popped in my head.
And it just like the song just feels like that to you?
I guess, yeah. It feels kind of sinister a little bit, but you know, like in a way, Banquo has the last laugh in the end, right? Like his son, it ends up taking the throne. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, to be honest. I kind of like do a lot of things stream of consciousness. I don't really like write lyrics all the time. If I try, they end up really corny. So I just like make sounds and then, oh, this is a word that sounds like that sound. And then, oh, wait, this is a string of words that it makes sense. And, you know, like kind of stream it together, which I highly encourage, by the way. You're always right. You know what I mean? You're always right artistically. You're always right.
That's true. Facts. So you do make your own sounds, and you have a name for your sound, which is New Wop.
I do.
What does New Wop mean?
New Wop. So I feel like rock music has kind of died off. I don't want to like step on anybody's toes or anything like that.
God.
But like it just isn't as big as it once was, you know, and I think it just hasn't quite evolved like the way other music forms have evolved, like hip hop via trap music has overtaken the world, and pop music has EDM that it went through, and hip hop. And so that's like the main form of pop music, but then rock and roll just kind of, where'd it go? It just was relegated to like something that, I don't know, especially like a lot of people aren't into anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the deal? Like, why isn't it as big as it used to be? So I'm like, maybe it's got to return to source. So my whole thing is I'm trying to like get back to the roots of it, but not be novelty about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oftentimes people fetishize things and it doesn't actually like live now. But there's been so much that's happened, you know, since the early days of rock and roll. So it's good to acknowledge that and allow this thing to hopefully grow into something completely new, hence New Wop.
New Wop.
Doo-wop, New Wop.
Yeah. I love that you said that too about like original or old school rock and then having a new take, because I feel like that's what your sound is. It has like this vintage feel, this familiar feel to it, but it also feels really fresh. So, yeah.
I'm really into music that's like rooted. I think like when people talk about like the it factor or whatever it is, it's hard to describe. I think it's rooted. It's rooted elsewhere. Like everything in history repeats itself, right? Whether we realize it or not. And this is why there's like, oh, you shouldn't worry about being totally original because somebody paved the way for that. Do you know what I mean? So it's always good to be rooted, and that's the whole point of what I try to do.
Absolutely. pay homage to your roots and recognize where you came from and where the music comes from.
Totally.
Yes.
Build on it.
Einzel TV said, dude, respect your modernizing it. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, retro fashion. Indeed. I mean, your outfit is amazing. There's like, I feel like there's global inspiration in this outfit. We've got the evil eye necklace, right?
Yes, protection.
The like chandelier evil eye necklace. And then what is this jacket? Is it from a particular country or?
I don't know.
I don't know. Probably like a vintage store in Highland Park, huh?
Where did I get it?
It's fly.
Yeah, it spoke to me. I like the colors.
Yeah.
The colors resonate with me.
It's resonating big time.
Yeah, it looks particularly like of an African bent.
Or like Indian.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Yeah, I love those colors. They're kind of royal too.
And kind of spiritual feel to it, which I'm about.
Yeah, 100%.
The evil eye, you know.
Yeah, protection, right?
Yeah, protection. Man. There's a lot of haters out there. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, 100%. Let's get into some of the AMA questions. These are not haters; these are lovers.
Thank you, lovers.
Of what you're doing, and they want to know more about the Nick Pagan sound. Eagle 1 Delta 1 said, "What inspired your style of music?"
Particularly, I grew up like listening to the Beatles and studying the Beatles a lot. Study the Beatles, man. I know like a lot of people think the Beatles are played out. There's all these jokes about the Beatles and comparing them to like Drake and stuff like that. Like Drake's awesome, but study these people, man. They have something to teach you. The Beatles are like the best at writing like 2.5-minute songs. You can learn so much through how many times they did that. They just got in and out real quick, super catchy. So the Beatles, and then like via the Beatles, the Clash. The Clash are kind of like, they were like a punk Beatles, you know, and they were influenced by all kinds of things, reggae, things like that. The Clash. And I'm really into like lowrider oldies, which is like, you know, like Chicano soul, particularly like Sonny and the Sunliners and stuff like that. Like if you like my music, go check out Sonny and the Sunliners. Go check out the Midnighters. Definitely check out the Clash. Definitely study the Beatles. Like that's you'll just hear, you're like, oh yeah, that's where you got this trick. There's tricks in all these music forms, you know.
Do you have a favorite Beatles era?
I go in and out of eras all the time. At first I was like, okay, early Beatles, like when they were doing covers and there's just this energy. And then I was like, you know, oh yeah, Rubber Soul and all that stuff like that, because then you're like, oh yeah, no, that's the real genius stuff. But right now, actually, because of that documentary, I'm like really into like the Beatles ending phase, you know, Abbey Road and all that. What's that other? Like the Abbey Road era. It's beautiful to me. Yeah, like it's just raw and it's real. And then I like where they went after that with their solo careers, especially John Lennon's solo career.
So speaking of documentary film, you're doing film scoring, right?
I am. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm working with a friend of mine who's directing this narrative about two Latino Americans who guide each other through their creative process over a 30-year span in love, and it's in association with Good Omen Films and the
And you're creating the scoring.
And I'm creating the score. Yeah. So it's like inspired on like LA sounds, you know, like there's particularly LA Chicano sounds, like people in LA, in Chicano culture, they're into the lowrider oldies, stuff like that. They're super into Morrissey, they're super into like cumbia,
Big
stuff
time.
like that. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Nice.
So it's kind of like taking that and running with it from a compositional standpoint.
Why are Latinos so into Morrissey?
He's the sad clown, man. Like he's, you know, like he's that Pagliacci, you know, that's similar to like mariachi music. Right?
Yeah, I dig it. So speaking of Los Angeles, someone did ask, what's your favorite kick-it spots in LA?
Ooh. I love drinking coffee. So let me think. Like, you know what? Honestly, like I stay at home a lot.
Yeah. So your home is your chill spot.
Yeah.
Do you live in Highland Park still?
No. Right now I'm subletting a spot in San Diego where I have a piano in my room.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, it was just like I had bed bugs in a spot.
Oh, no.
I had to leave. And my friend's like, hey, you can move to San Diego. Yeah. I was like, can I? Yeah, and there's like a garden, and my dog like pees next to the bumblebees and the hummingbirds. It's really nice. Yeah.
Sounds
but that's just till
idyllic.
April. The thing about Highland Park, man, is it's really hard to stay. Like none of my family is like in Highland Park anymore. They're all driven out.
Yeah.
That whole thing, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And
I know what you're saying.
So it's really hard. I'm trying to plant my flag there once more. Via Yellow Stucco House, my record label, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yellow's kind of a theme tonight. There's another artist who had Milo has a song called Yellow, and I'm wearing a yellow shirt underneath here.
Saw it.
Yes, yellow's a great color. Speaking of, Kenzizi says, "What inspires your fashion style? Because that fit, fire."
Thank you, Kenzizi. Well, yeah, it is like classic retro. You know, people wearing suits back in the day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm really into like psychedelic modern elements, particularly like of an indigenous bent, I suppose, just because that is what I'm drawn to. Like my family, a lot of indigenous people from my family, stuff like that. So I'm just into those ideas, Nick Pagan, stuff like that. It's just what I'm drawn to. So I like colors a lot. I like patterns a lot. I like plaid because like I used to be really into ska back in the day, you know, like I don't know, it's just like the entirety of my
Ska's sick.
upbringing and stuff just kind of like resonates in it somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, it all works. One person said, where did that go? They said they just moved from San Diego. Pat Nard said, I just moved from there, Nick. Must
From
be San Diego. Yeah, I think so. Wondering where you moved to, Pat Nards. But they said, I love that area.
No, it's really nice.
And Shrimp01 is wondering if you're from LA. And yeah, you're from Highland Park originally, right?
Yeah, from Highland Park. But
Yes.
I'm transient now. I would call myself a California because I've lived in LA, I've lived in San Diego, I've lived in San Francisco for a long period of time, and my family's from Baja California.
Oh, nice.
And like California is my place.
And I want to ask you about your label, Yellow Stucco House. What does that refer to? Is it like a place that you've lived in, or?
Back when my family was all living in Highland Park, they all lived in yellow stucco houses for some reason. Like it was a style of Southern California architecture, and like the house that I lived in when I was born was a yellow stucco house, and so just all these memories. Like my grandpa, who's like kind of the musical patriarch, would have band practice in this yellow stucco house, and then they all got driven out of Highland Park, and they all live in like San Gabriel Valley now, or like Inland Empire. And so my idea was like, okay, I wanted to come back, and I wanted my art to live in where it came from, in a yellow stucco house, and just
back to the roots.
Plant it, and this is where it's gonna be.
Yeah. Okay, one more really important question from Pat Nards. What's your favorite sandwich?
Ooh. Sandwich. I like grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
Big time. From the actual grill, right?
Oh, what? You want? I mean, stove,
but like on an actual grill, like from a diner.
Oh, you mean like the flat top?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
I like to make them myself.
Yeah.
There's like. I feel like I make tremendous grilled cheese sandwiches. I use Munster cheese.
I feel like you do too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's people try to doubt my grilled cheese. Come over. I'll make a grilled cheese. I'll show you my favorite sandwich. Like hit me up.
Munster cheese is highly underrated, by the way.
Highly.
So for our final question of the night, it's our Mitsubishi Drive Your Ambition question. And it has been voted on by the audience. What musical style do you want to make a comeback?
Rock and roll, man. Straight up.
Straight up rock and roll.
Straight up rock and roll. Like, no frills about it. Rock and roll in its evolved form. The world is ready. There's a lot of tension, you know what I mean? There's a lot of anger. And that's essentially where rock and roll came from. But people need to dance. There needs to be positivity. That anger needs to turn into positivity. There's got to be dancing. There's got to be like that pent-up energy released in a positive way. And if you don't have that, then who knows what happens. So I say rock and roll.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Nick, Pagan, thank you so much for joining us.
Novena.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. You capped off the night with so much style, with the ultimate grooves, and we're hoping that you'll come back to school night again soon.
Oh, I would love to be here again.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.